Yeah, in some way I think I do understand why they just put that fast travel into the game, but I don't understand those who are just using it. So well, hello everyone, this is Light on the Tube playing Forza Horizon 2 Daily Driving. With I need to Dodge Charger Daytona Hemi. Yeah, it's not the best car, I mean, it can be that it's the best car in some way, but it's not going to be the fastest in so many ways. So I was thinking on that I'm just going to cruise around a bit. Not to mention that it's just Sunday. Let's just try to do it like a Sunday driver. In some way, of course, I'm not going to be like really a Sunday driver, I guess. I will be on to push it because I like the sound of this car. But I'm not sure where I'm heading right now. I was thinking on, of course, that to measure the car to others or compare it to other cars, I should do I should go and do a race, because in that way it's just at least something what just gives a little bit of feedback for me from the car, if it just can participate against the others or not. Oh yeah, at least I'm thinking on that this car is going to be good in acceleration. Not because of that I'm feeling that it's just really accelerating too much, but I'm guessing that it's just working like that. That is just going to work like that thing, because this car is just familiar from that acceleration what it can perform, I guess. But maybe because it's the Daytona version of the Hemi, maybe they just made it to be more stable on the roads, not just accelerating fast. But doesn't matter, let me just try to find the race until I'm checking the car, because in so many ways I do like this car's suspension, because at least it's just really able to work out bump, even for that it's just not really capable of turning that good how the other cars are doing, but in so many ways it's just better, because at least on humps it's just not really going to throw you away that much. And I'm saying that even for the not that big speed, so at least it's just working like a ship in some way. I was just floating on the sea or any kind of water, it doesn't matter. But even for anything, I think I'm just not going for the right direction, but I do have time in some way. And at least I'm going to try out the car. Thanks for the braking. Oh yeah, I just hit it. What's going to be with my car? I just broke it. I just tried to get to a race fast. Oh yeah, it just hit its chassis, I guess. But even for that, I don't really want to think into that thing, what it could hit if I would not be with this car, because I would be in the air, I guess. Yeah, I'm just trying to check how it's just behaving during driving. Oh yeah, I'm just starting to think that I was here in the last race. But even for anything, it's going to be fine for me if I will be able to get there. I just try not to hit it that hard. And yeah, in some way, because of the suspension, it just works like that way, that is just working out the bumps. For an exchange, it wants you to decide earlier that you are just getting down. Oh yeah, the brothers, the Tale of Two Sons just downloaded. But it's going to be great, because at least I will be able to try it out. But right now, let's just enter the race and check out what the car can provide for me. Showcase events. Oh yeah, it's good because you can get the car for that specific event, but you need to drive that specific car. So if you are on to try out such car like I'm trying now, then you are not going to be able to do it during showcase event. So let me just try this car out in a race, and even for that I'm guessing that I was doing it yesterday. It's going to be fine, because with a different car it's going to be a different race in some way. Even for that it can happen that it's just going to be the same class. Yeah, it doesn't really have too much good brakes on it, or at least I'm just not really able to use it out well right now. So it can happen that it's not going to be the best for me. Let's just check out where we are progressing. I'm just trying to keep up with the pack. Of course, what else? I'm always starting from behind in so many ways for some reason. The game just doesn't really let you. Yeah, I do know this turn, so it's just my advantage in some way that at least I do know how not to hit the wall there, but it can happen that it's just not going to be that fine. Let's just try to keep it on the road during I'm going to pass other enemies, if I will be able to do such thing, but I will need to watch for the brakes because of the car is just not really good in it. But yeah, at least I'm thinking on that it can offer much more than just brakes. So let's just try to push it. Let's just try not to hit the brake. Ooh, yeah, at least I was able to put it into next to the enemies. Oh yeah, I'm just getting, but it's just getting not too great in some way, because it's just pushing the brake and I'm just not on to. Oh yeah, I'm just really not on to push the brake. I'm on to push the throttle, of course, and I'm just on to capture this guy in front, but I should not hit the walls. In some way I should be behind it, but it just started to pull the, push the throttle. Yeah, I do remember this track. It can happen that the guy is just going to use its brakes, and of course I'm not really on to. Let's just try not to hit it. Oh shit, I was just had to use the brakes, because of that it just passed my way in front, and for that I was not really able to use the throttle for turning, and for that I just got got down from the... Oh shit, thank you. Oh yeah, it was really... He was just really not liking how I was passing him, I guess. But at least I was able to get up onto the top of the leaderboard right now. And even for anything, of course, I'm not really thinking on that I should do such thing like going against my rival right now. Because for that you need to build a good car, not just use it in stock way. Monteligno 0. Okay, so it looks like that it's just not that thing. And even for that it just gives you a couple of money. If I was seeing it right, it might be fine, but I think I do know better ways to get money if I'm just need some... What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Okay, nothing special. Credit. Okay, it was fine for the first time. I think the car was great. I think if I will do such thing like tuning it, then I will start it with the brakes, because it doesn't really have too much in it. I think everything else almost was fine. In some way, of course, because in some way... Yeah, if I'm just pulling the... Yeah, maybe I don't need to put the brakes on it. I might put a couple of drivetrain into, if I'm just knowing the right word for it, I guess. Because in that way... No, I don't think that it's going to be the drivetrain. So it doesn't matter. I'm not a mechanic. I think I'm not going to really tune it up yet. Even for that I do like this car, but for some reason I like much more the... not the Daytona kind, because I do like how it looks more better, because I don't like the rear wing on this Daytona car. It's just really looking interesting, or at least for me, I don't really happy about that it's just there. Of course I can think of the reason what it could be, that this car just, I guess, made for the Daytona track, and for that it can happen at 300 km/h. It just really helps you to keep the car's rear on the road, or at least pushing it down way, what it just can stabilize it more than if it would not be that rear wing there. But even for anything, it just looks disgusting for me. Maybe somebody is just going to curse me for this sentence, because it can happen, of course, that others are just really likes that rear wing. I don't. I think I have the right not to like it, and you of course also has the right to like it. So it doesn't matter, I'm not really seeing it right now, and the V8 engine is just still inside, I guess, so in that way it's just really a satisfying feeling to push it to this car, try not to wreck it. But yeah, I just cannot really turn, I mean, I cannot use the brake during turning, even not a bit, because in that way it's just going to go straight, or at least how I was experiencing it before. But of course, maybe if I will be more smoother than how I was, then it can happen that the car is just going to fit right under my arm. But let's just try to check it, if I can take the turn without really getting away. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter, it was really fine. My Sunday driving is just really great, I guess, because there are sun on the air. It's not too much, but at least it's just really feeling great that on a Sunday afternoon I'm just driving, doing nothing else than just doing a bit of a driving with the Hemi, which is just really a great car anyway. I do like it, even for the rear wing, I guess. Let's just check out one thing, because I'm curious how it's going to work on a dirt road, which I might be able to use out to do what? Oh yeah, it was fine in some way, but it's just not going to be, because I'm just checking the GPS what kind of turn is just going to come, and I was just guessing that it's not going to be fine. In some way, I guess it's just really good for drifting, because it just starts to go by itself. But if you are just doing such thing like drifting with the car, you really need to watch where you are heading, because you are not really able to change direction during sliding. And most of the drift cars are just capable of stopping the drifting and gaining back the control. But in this car it just really takes too much time right now, at least, maybe because it just do not really have such thing in it. Yeah, I'm just trying to find, yeah, it's just close, I guess, but I was lucky I was not crashing the car, so I can move toward, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it's just taking too much time for the car to take back the control, and so for that you really need to be aware of what are you going to do next, because if you are just need to improvise, then the car is just not really going to be happy about it, and from the results you are not going to be happy as well. But it's really a good car, or at least I'm just really liking its suspension, what I can check out on off-road, I guess. That's why I'm not jumping off-road, but yeah, at least right here I will be able to check how is it going to work if I'm not going to fly away, because during humps the car is just going to show itself how it's just going to work it out. Of course, it can happen that it's just not really the best. I'm not really able to pass this fence how it looks to me, so I'm just not trying it. I'm just will be on to try it out on dirt, because the car is just going to show itself. yeah, in some way it's just sliding around. Or I'm just trying to slide it, but it's just not going to be fine. Yeah, I'm just not even aware of where am I. I'm trying to get back to the road, at least on the GPS I'm able to navigate. And let's just try to put it into different kind of turns, because I'm just checking how it's going to react to sliding. Because in some way it can be brought back, but if you are just starting it too late, then I guess it's just not really going to like it. Oh yeah, in some way it's going to be fine. Hi! What are you waiting for? I'm on to follow you. So do such thing like a hard opponent should and start to push it, guy. It's just not really on to how it looks to me, so I'm just leaving it, of course. And yeah, I just try to find something interesting, because I don't like to do such thing like getting bored, and even for that I'm driving a good Dodge. I just cannot really feel myself bored, but I do like to play with the cars, so I just try to do such thing like playing with it. If I will be able to not to crash it, of course, more here than anywhere else, I guess. I'm just trying, but I'm just trying to find a good place to do so, where to do so. Oh yeah, maybe it's going to be fine there. Stuntman, yeah, I don't like these kind of titles. Ooh! Almost. Oh yeah, I broke it out. I heard it. Side swipe. But yeah, let's just check out the surroundings, because it can happen that it's going to be fine. Even for that, the car is just not really have too much horsepower in it, so it's just not the best for drifting right now, at least. Mainly because of this, I guess. Even for that, I'm just passing. I mean, yeah, just doing it on slow speed. So yeah, even for that I'm just trying it out. But yeah, I was counting on that it's just not going to be fine in some way. I'm just not really good with the car right now, of course. I'm usually telling that thing that because of the controller, because it's just not precise enough to perform that precision moves what you do really need for drifting. But at least I'm just trying to do such thing like what I was trying to do, but the car is just trying to be my friend in it, because I'm just having problems, issues with that thing that I'm just on to fit in all kind of tracks, I mean turns. Yeah, it just doesn't really have too much horsepower. I'm just doing it too early, I guess, and I'm just doing it too lately. But yeah, even for anything, even for that I was being here, let's just try to do it again, because it can happen that it's going to fit more to the purpose of the drifting. Even for that I'm just saying that Forza Horizon 2 is just not for the purpose of drifting, because for some reason it's just not really drifting like it how it should. But even for anything, of course, I can do such thing like getting into traverse. If I can. Oh damn. Yeah, I'm just not really feeling it, and I think I'm just in a lack of horsepower. But even for anything, let's just do such thing like putting it in, and then something is going to happen, of course. Ooh, yeah, I'm just trying it. But yeah, because of that, I mean, lack of horsepower is just not really putting it into traverse by just pushing the throttle. And because of that, I'm not really aware of how the car's gripping. It looks like I'm just having issues fitting it into turns. Maybe because what I was just saying, that it just not fits for my purpose to drift. Yeah, at least I'm just seeing that it's just not really what I would talk about like a drifting, even for anything. Oh yeah, I just did, because I'm not aware, I did not get used to how the car is just going to slide into the turns, and for that I'm just not even able to use the third for that purpose, because it's just not going to be fine, and it's just going to be too fast for the car. So I'm not really on to slip out, of course. That's not really a good thing if you are just over drifting it in some way. Ooh, yeah, I was just thinking that it's going to be fine, but of course it's not going to be fine. Because of that, the road is just bending, and I was just not really coming from upway, and it's just not worked out well with a low horsepowered car. But let's just try to do it back way, and in the opposite way I can think of that it's going to work more than how it was working upway. But for that I think I just should put it right into it, and then it might be great, but it was not, because the lack of the horsepower is just really showing itself, but it's just not really putting it into traverse. Even for that I'm just pushing it to metal, to the pedal, to the metal. Yeah, and for that I really need to do it in an interesting way, because it's just not really working fine, because it's just really drifting away because only of the car's suspension, and because of that the inertia just lets it to spin out, and not because of the horsepower what I'm just trying to put in. And without horsepower you are just not going to be able to do drift as well as it should, because you will only be able to put it into turns in some way, but you won't be able to come out from it in traverse, because the car is just not going to provide such horsepower what it just can make it to slip out the back of it. And for that it looks like that you are just laming around, but in reality it's just because of the missing skills of the car. Oh yeah, I was just checking how it just should work. Oh yeah, anyway, even for anything that it just really has a great suspension, even for that right now I'm just not really able to spin with it. It can be a good thing, but it's just not really letting you to slide away that much. But of course in some way it's just not really going to help you, but dang, oh yeah, it's not because of that the car is just really long, it's morely because I'm just lame, and because of that I do want to provide a speed at least during turning, and because of that the car doesn't really have pulling or pushing power in it, so for that I'm just not really able to take out or evade any kind of tree what I would just hit. And for that, or I'm going to not to drift and not to crash myself, or with this car it looks like I'm just trying to do what is just not really for this purpose right now. Oh yeah, so it was not interesting in some way, because I'm just not happy about that this car is just in stock doesn't have the ability to perform at least a good slide, but I think it's mainly because this car is just made for racetrack, and on racetrack drifting is not really useful, I guess. So because of that, of course, I'm not really blaming the car for this. I'm blaming more myself that I was not able to drift with it, because of course I can think of that in some way you can do such thing like drifting with the car if you are just aware of its skills and its abilities in some way, and of course you are just knowing the place where you are just heading. Then I guess that it can be drifted in some way, but right now I'm not really feeling that I can drift with this car. I'm just guessing it's mainly because of the lack of the horsepowers, not because of the car is just, or the controller what I just have is just not really precise enough. Of course on dirt road it just really fits. Yeah, I was guessing that I'm going to do 360 in some way, but I was just hitting the car, but just came in the right time not to let me to do it. And of course for that it was not really looked like how I was intent to show it. And yeah, I'm just trying, but I'm just not really able to. And how in the game it just looks like that the Sunday just went away, because it's just starting to be the night. But it's just the race time for the street racers. The illegal street racers are just going to have fun, right? Ooh. I am just trying it. Oh, Chico, look at this, look at this. How many much I'm just laming around because I'm just really not able to use the car. It's just not going in. It always just slipping down, and I just cannot even pull it in. So in that way, in the the trajectory of my drifting is just not really a real good trajectory for drifting, and because of the lack of the horsepower how I'm just experiencing, just not really letting me to do such thing like fitting into the places well. For some reason it just always works like not letting me. Of course, because this is not a drift car. For drifting it's always better if you are just using a car which is just built for that purpose. But of course you can try it with any kind of car, but you are just finding even front wheel drive car, if you are just not believing, you can find it on the video sharing systems on the internet, that so many people are just drifting with front wheel drive cars or all wheel drive cars, but I'm not really looking without any kind of smiling, because mainly that I do think that drifting is not really about speed. It's more about just the art of car driving and sliding, and for that no other kind of car is just good for it than just a rear wheel drive car with what you can get and keep in traverse all the time, if it has the abilities and it doesn't have any kind of lack of something. So yeah, even for anything, of course I do like to drive, and I'm just trying to fit the car into the turns right, but it's just really pointless. It's just really pointless, at least for me. I'm not, maybe it can happen that I just got used, I just forgot how to drift, but I don't think that it can be really forgotten. It's like cycling, I guess. If you ever learned it, then you are never going to forget it. Maybe the only thing that you need to get used to the car itself. Oh. And and after you're just getting used to the car, it can happen that you are going to do it fine. I won't. I do know that right now with this car I'm just not even aiming for it, because I do think that if I would be on to aim for it, then I would put a lowered suspension, at least might be a couple of horsepower in it, and a lot of things, maybe not a lot, but a couple of things else, what maybe I'm just not sure the name of them, and for that I'm not on to talk dumb things. So I think I would just change it, but it doesn't matter even for anything. The car is just great anyway. If I'm just not really on to do it in traverse, the car is just going to help me to keep it on the road in some way. Ooh, tango. Sorry man, I was not intent. I'm just laming, you know. I mean really. Oh yeah, near miss, doesn't matter. I was just doing such thing like pushing to it and just, yeah, let's just get after the two of these guys, or three, I'm not sure. 2, 3, yeah, a couple at least. I just did find them. Let's just try to pass at least 2 of them, and let's just try to keep up with the first guy. Oh yeah, it's going to change. Koska is just going to come. Oh, we will need to do such thing like fitting to next to each other. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's just going to be fine, because at least they are just pushing to it. Oh yeah, they are hard. And in this way it's going to be really fine if I will be able to keep up with them, but at least I will be able to check out the car, because how I'm seeing it, it just can accelerate a bit faster, at least how this blue car just did, but I'm just not sure that it can accelerate faster than the Mercedes in front, because I'm just trying to get after, but let's just cut it down, because the game is just letting me to do so. So at least in this way I am able to get after Koska. But let's just check it out if I can keep it that way, but because of that it's just really pushing to it, and I'm just not really seeing that I'm getting closer. And my brakes are just not really great, so it just tricked me in some way. I'm just trying to keep up with the Mercedes, and let's hope that in turn it's going to be better than him. But it can happen that it's just not going to be that fine, because I was just laming, and because of the humps what I was just experiencing, I was not able to count how the car is just going to jump into between the 2 trees, because at least of course it was not really on to let me to count it out. They just put a couple of jumps into it, but it just really miscalculated me. I mean, made me miscalculated myself. And of course, from the creators of the game, I guess it was a purpose, and it's just fine. What I can else say, because who else made the game? So I guess it just has to be there in for a purpose. What else? Why is just always there? I'm always thinking on that thing, but I never getting answer. I would be curious if others are just experiencing the same things, that the 3-3 is just going to be always on the outer side of the turn, where you are just slipping 2, and for that you are just hitting the trees, and of course nowhere else you are not finding any kind of trees, just only in the turns, preventing you to do any kind of making mistakes in the turns. Is just not really a possibility for you if you are not on to brake the car. Ultimate e-drift, of course, it was really ultimate, I guess, but it was just not really great, because I'm just not getting closer to the guys. Yeah, at least I'm just trying, and because of that I do hope that it's just going to be the same blue guy. But it's just not. I was thinking on that it's going to be fine, because at least it's a car. It's just pushing to it, but it's just not pushing to it. I'm just accelerating it really easily. But it doesn't matter. I think I just experienced enough with the car, and of course because of that I'm just not intend to do more than an hour video, and I'm not really knowing where am I now. I guess I'm just getting to the end of it in some way, so let me just try to find the... Oh shit, yeah, just look at this. Look at this. The car just really worked in an interesting way. Let me just try to check it if I can, because from that point where I just started to push the brake, and where the wheels just really blocked themselves, I mean the tires, from that point the car is just started to slide to the right, and in an interesting way, because I felt like that it just should not, but it just did, and the only thing I can think of that is just because of that thing, that it just was not on a flat surface. But yeah, let's just try to check it out one more before I'm going to end the video, because it can happen that I'm going to get the same result if I will be able to perform the same thing, but I'm just not really thinking that it's going to be fine. But let's just try to check it, how I was just trying to do such thing, like, yeah, I was not fast enough, but right now I not really felt that what I was feeling before. So yeah, it was fine. Let me, yeah, I'm just seeing. Of course, I'm just checking the Forza Horizon Festival Arena Party Garage thing. But right now, let's just try to cut it, right? If I can, because it looks like the makers of the game is just not really letting me to do such thing. But yeah, I'm just trying, I'm going around the fence, and yeah, it's going to be fine if I can jump out, but it can happen, of course, that the game is going to throw me in some way. But I was lucky, I just didn't get thrown away by the hump, any kind of hump. And I'm just seeing where I'm heading now, and I think it's just going to be the end of the video, because I was just experiencing during Sunday driving, and I guess it was fine for me and for the car. I hope it's going to be fine for you as well. I hope you liked the video, and of course, thank you for watching. Goodbye.